Hey everybody, it's the abstractionist. Okay, hold on. Sorry about that, because the light was on in the back. Can I, there we go. Slightly, I just want to stand up a little bit more. Just because I don't feel like sitting down the entire time. So this is part 2. I decided to do it since I bought more storage on Google. About like 2 terabytes or some shit. Or the storage. So I'm like, I'm getting my money's worth. I'm making these videos. So I put all of the ones that I said deuces in that bin. I have another bin, and we're gonna go through that. So first one, Moon Oracle, Carolyn Smith, John Astrup. This is another combination. This is another like duo that I like fuck with. It's like when Doreen Virtue and Riley Valentine was like cool before she, she left and started saying some shit about this new age community. It's gonna be funny when like, she comes back. It's gonna be so funny. We're like, girl, like, look at what you done did. You done blew everything up. You know what I'm saying? You done fucked everything up. You done burned some bridges for real. I still got her deck more of as a collectible. Cause I'm gonna be real, I ain't get along with that deck, and that deck was kind of rude. Just saying, it was kind of bitchy, even though it had angels on it. What the fuck is that about? Anyway, Moon Oracle. Well, I like these two, and there's something about this art style that I fuck with. Like, I don't know, it's like this 90s-ish type style. Like, and it's probably not even made in the 90s. It's probably like, yeah, first published in 2000, and then he passed away in 2013. John passed away. So it was made in like 2000. So basically I was a kid. This is me, but I fucks with this. And this is the Moon Mansion deck that I have, and this is what I would like to study instead. Now it does have goddesses on there. I'm not so sold on that anymore. I was interested in it, but I'd rather work with the Moon Mansions and the moon phases and learning about them here, but specifically the Moon Mansions. So these are the Moon Mansions, and it gives you a little bit of like planetary stuff, and then it gives you like the different degrees. So this card is 12.51 degrees Libra to 25.43 degrees Libra. So like degrees and minutes, basically. So yeah, and then it got the moon phases, and each moon phase has like a keyword, and you can look that up. And then each child, where you at? Where you at? Where you at, girl? Where you at? Don't tell me y'all all left. Come on now. What the hell? I'm trying to find like a goddess. There we go. Of course you would. Lilith. And so we have cards like this. It's like 12 of them. There's not that many of them, but the most of the cards are the mansions and the moon cards. So it's like 28 mansions, and then the rest like a split between that. But yeah, it comes with a guidebook and everything. Like, I'm so interested in this, and I was gonna give this away, but I like their art style too much. It's the same thing with Amy and Monty. I don't know, it's something about these two groups of collabs, these two collabs pairs, that I really like fuck with, because I also have the Mystic Tarot pack by them two. At least her, I think. At least Carolyn. Yeah, I think it's at least her. Yeah, Carolyn Smith. Mm-hmm. I don't even read books like that, but yeah. So that's a yes. This is a yes. I don't know. It's something about it that I'm not giving that. I'm gonna be real. I was gonna get this up, but I like they style. Now I may not keep, all of it. Just reminds me of a game, like a little game. It reminds me of Murder She Wrote, and it's like the episodes and that started taking place in the 90s, and it's one episode where it's like a video game, but then someone in real life ends up murdered and they're trying to figure out what the video game was trying to tell them and shit like that. This reminds me of that, like how pixelated it kind of is and shit. Yeah, so I like it, and I just, like I said, I like them together. I don't think John is on this one, but I like them together, and I like Caroline Smith. Next is the Numinous Astral deck. There's another astrology deck that I'd rather get. And for someone who fucks with like planets more than zodiacs, you would think that I would kind of like this. Because it does more cards, so it gives you planets, right? You got Jupiter, they even add Chiron, Neptune, stuff like that. Then you got the houses. Then you got like the aspects, so conjunctions, stuff like that. I like this deck for that concept, but I never really wanted to use the full deck. Like I would only use the aspects, the planetary aspects, conjunction, opposition, things like that, because I used the Mystic Mondays and I found that they work together as a pair. But everything else I didn't like. And so what's the point of keeping this if I don't really like the aesthetics of all the other ones and I just am not interested? If I could find cards that talk about that, just that, or they just look better, and there's one that does, it's like dark, most of the cards are like black or something like that, and they have like this really nice like type or whatever. So yeah, this is a no, and I'll just put this over here, or put this in this bin, this box right here. Next is Elemental Power Tarot. This is a yes, because I kind of feel like it gives me like past life energy, and it gives me like quiet, watch out kind of energy. But like, if you were interested in trying to figure out past life pitfalls, I feel like this deck is for you. It just feels like someone entered the chat behind me. Anyway, there's this. I like it for past life-ish, what lessons are, but it's almost like they're not as straightforward as they seem. Like there's a little bit of trickster energy regarding this. It was a personal deck for me, so it wasn't like, it wasn't like a deck that I was going to be using for other people, but it was more of a personal deck, and I really fucks with it, so I don't know why I was going to give this up. I don't know. So it's a yes, like a straight yes. These are the decks that I really like in terms of like art and in terms of concept. And as I work with decks, I come up with my own concepts too. The Tattoo Tarot Mega Moondin. So I got this, and this is a Venus deck for me. However, I have the Cosmic Tarot, which I find to be a better Venus deck. This is on the fence, so I will say a maybe, but most likely it will go. I do like the tattoo art style. There was another Tattoo Tarot, and I absolutely hate that art style. But I like this one a little bit more. Actually, every time I go and try to see where I want to go get my tattoos, like the people always have this art style, and I'm like, I don't want this tattooed on me. You know, I don't want this tatted on me. But I like the art style on this deck. I like it, but like it looks kind of cartoonish on skin to me. So it's a no. It's like I'm questioning it because I did like the readings that I got with it, but I do reach for the Cosmic Tarot a little bit more. So this one most likely is gonna go bye-bye. And yeah, it's so hard. Pour it out for the homies to say goodbye to yesterday. Yeah. Next we have the English Magic Tarot. This is gonna go. I do fuck with it though. Like, I'm gonna put it in the maybe. The maybes, because the artwork to me is like very interesting, but like it's a mischievous kind of deck. It's a Jupiter deck for me, but it's kind of it's kind of like, yeah, kind of mischievous. So I like it. I fuck with the deck, and I like the artwork, and I like the art style, but I never really worked with it as far as like reading with it a lot. I just felt like it's on the same, it's not quite on the same level as the Deviant Moon, because the Deviant Moon really is deviant to me. But this one is a little more lighthearted trickster. That one, the Deviant Moon, is a little bit more like, you gotta be careful with what you think you know and what you think, what you think you know. Because that one will mess you up. That will mess you up. Everything is not as it appears with that. This is the Black Power Tarot. This is a maybe. I would only keep it because I bought it and it's a Black Power Tarot deck, and it's just like a more black tarot deck. I don't think it came with a guidebook. I think you can just access the information online about who is each one of these cards, because like some of them I don't know who they are. Like obviously like Tupac, like I can recognize that, or like Snoop, I can recognize that. But like some of these people, like James Brown, but I don't know who the ladies are. I think this is Tina Turner. I don't know who the High Priestess would be. I don't know who the Sun would be. I don't know who the Emperor is. I don't know who the Magician is. So, yeah. The main reason why I wanted to sell this or get rid of it is because I hate the quality of this. Like, I just wish it was on like some sort of linen paper background. And it's because I like Marseille's. I like Marseille. I like how it's designed. Like, I like that design. But like, the quality of this is really like shitty to me, because okay, like you put it on like this more plasticky, material, and that helps. It doesn't get damaged, it doesn't get wet, it can roll right off. But then my thing is, you also chose you chose it to be like this muddy beige, pink, purple. Like, it just, if it was just white, I think I would appreciate it more. I wouldn't mind I think the texture of the material if it was like white, but it doesn't come off so great. So this is a maybe, because that kind of really pisses me off, and I just can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. Next is the Golden Tarot of the Renaissance. This is probably a go. It could turn into a maybe, but I don't really read with it. I feel like I read with the Crystal Tarot a lot more. So I am not into this style as much as I thought. Yeah, not into this style as much as I thought. So what's the point of keeping it? And I find that I don't reach for it as far as planetary readings. I don't reach for it as far as, get closer to y'all so I can see it. Right now, it's got a lot of foiling. It's got a lot of, you know, shit on there. And I feel like every card had like foiling except for like 2 or 3. And I was like, well, why don't you foil this card? Like out of all the cards, like, and it was like, it wasn't like it was something that didn't have anything, you know, it wasn't lacking something that could be foiled. It just, they didn't do it. And I'm like, well, where is that damn card? I gotta actually go through these and make sure that they have all the cards, only because they were in my car and, you know, driving recklessly, but driving a lot. Like, this is one of the cards that doesn't have any foil. Like, this is a prime card. The coins could be foiled, the bull could be foiled, the key could be foiled, something could be foiled on here. Like, and they just chose not to. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, and it's the 10 of coins, so it's kind of like, why didn't y'all foil that of all cards? Okay, but yeah, these cards, when I was going through my psychosis of we're gonna throw everything away and we're gonna start over, you know, those videos that I had like a few months ago about it's gonna go, that's what happened. It was me. I don't know what that was. I was like, did somebody put a spell on me or something? Because I swear to God, like, once I got through it, I was like, ooh. Like, these actions were very questionable. I just felt like I needed to change, but I'm just like, why? Like, why in this way? Okay, next is the Spellcaster's Tarot. It's a serious deck, but I don't feel like I need it. If I do keep it, it is a Pluto deck for me. It is a Pluto deck. That's why I said it's a dark deck. This is a Pluto deck for me. And I was drawn to it. I was really drawn to it. I feel like this deck would be one of those decks that could do better if it was larger. There's just, like, people say the Shadowscapes Tarot could be larger. I do think that's true. I do think she's a little scared of copyright. You know, she may not have ever said that, but I picked that up because the books don't have like any color, and I'm just kind of like, I understand, because her deck is really beautiful, and I know people have stolen that artwork, like even if they stole and photocopied that shit, and went that route to sell decks. You know, that's exactly why you got to be kind of like cautious out here in these streets, because people really do be trying to steal stuff, and I'm just like, tarot is just like, tarot land and spiritual new age land is just rife with a lot of information in any direction you want it to go. Any direction. So for your greatest good, your lowest good, your sideways good, your sideways bad, whatever. There's information to feed every fear you have, every desire you have. There's just so much information. But yeah, so these are some of the cards. Sorry about the glare from the TV. Is it a TV? Yeah, I think it's a TV. I mean, I like these cards, so they're a maybe. But most likely they're gonna leave. So just saying, most likely they're gonna leave, just because, why not? The Antique Anatomy Tarot. This is a good deck for me. I felt like it's more financial. So it feels like if you want to know about sacrifices you have to make money, or just money, financial reasons, I really like this. It gives really practical advice. It might say, I don't know. It does give really practical advice, I ain't gonna lie. So if you want a money reading, I think this is your deck. Like, literally, because it gets to the bare bones of what you need to do. Literally, right? It literally gets to the bones of what what you need to do. And I kind of just feel like it's not a harsh deck, it's just to the point, and it's done with enough love that you can see the sacrifices that were made, but not so like sugar coated that you don't get the gravity of the choices that were made to help get you where you need to be. So yeah, tarot. This tarot, what is it called? Tarot, whatever. I wanted this deck for so long. Terra Nova, I think. I wanted this deck for so fucking long. This is what it looks like in a little thing. And I don't know if it's kind of hard to get, but after I got it, I don't know. I feel like I just never used it. I felt like I never had a place for it. It was a Mercury deck, but I never felt like I had a place for it. I was always using like Mystic Monday or the OK Tarot or something like that. Those are Mercury decks to me. Mercury decks, and I think Mystic Mondays I put in Venus also. I don't know, like, I feel like it's a maybe, but most likely it'll go, because right now, you know, so I do have some maybes, a lot of maybes. Yeah. Next is this deck, but honestly, we gotta figure this out, because this deck is all over my car, all over the back seat, all over just everywhere, and I gotta figure out, do I need to just call it quits and get a new deck all together? Because yeah, it's the Paracelsus Dreams Tarot. If you like, I feel like more esoterical shit, you would probably like this, because obviously you got the symbolism right there, stuff like that. Like if you want deeper esoteric, I feel like you might like this. It's not so easy to figure out. It is, I feel like it speaks in riddles. They do have writings on here, and I'm just kind of like I be reading that shit too, but I feel like, who the fuck is able to see this? I don't think that they thought through the font. Even though it's beautiful, they didn't think that through in terms of readability. So I'm kind of questioning that for them. So that's gonna stay for right now. But I gotta see if I need to buy like another one, because I may not be able to find all the cards. So next is the Insight Tarot by Stanislav Beshetti. If you like Young, you will probably like this, because this deck is inspired by Young. So it's created by a student of C.G. Young, of Carl Jung. It's created by a student of his. So you probably would like this deck if you were into Jung, if you were into psychology, if you were into that. I don't really care for the art style. It kind of reminds me of the chakra cards, the chakra. It kind of reminds me of that, and I just personally am not interested. I was interested in more of the Young, and the only reason I would keep it is if I could read the guidebook. But even the guidebook, I don't know if I would. It seems like the major arcanas are the ones that you would want to kind of think about, and even the courts, because I'm looking at it right now. So it's gonna go to someone who would like to study Young, because I don't. And not because Young, this person is a bad person, you know, because sometimes I think when it comes to these like deck declutters and stuff like that, people really think that these people who created the decks are just like trolling the internet and being like hot about people not wanting to keep their decks. I don't think these people care. I think they will be kind of like sad to know that you like didn't want it any longer, but I think they're mature enough to know that you're not going to keep this deck forever. There's a possibility of that, rather, and if you learn something from their deck, great. If it's not for you, then great. You know, they're not people that are forcing you to like their deck. I think people have, you know, the money they spent on the deck, the time they've invested in learning about the deck. Sometimes you kind of don't want to admit that you bought something that you maybe immediately regret or have never gotten around to using or something like that. And I can admit that some of these decks, they may be on the list of maybe because I've spent money on them and I'm like, I want to really see, because I have let some decks go that I was like, dang, like maybe I should have kept them, like the Kawaii Tarot, even though that's probably going to be on its way out. Just because I feel like the OK Tarot kind of like is my like minimalist kind of deck, like in that way. This is like the Sacred Geometry tarot deck. Not tarot deck, but deck. It was, okay, so I got this on eBay. And it wasn't a named deck on eBay. So I was trying to figure out what the name of this shit was, because I was like, well, I want the deck. I like the deck. I just feel like I don't know what the name is. And I think it's the Sacred Geometry cards or something like that. And I think they have a second, like a second version of it or something like that, like an additional version or something like that. I think this is gonna go. I think if I had the book, it may work out better, but I also am not interested in all of the sacred geometry that's coming from this. I think the main thing for me that I have grown to love is the spiral, and that is really the only symbol that I'm particularly interested in. A runner up to that would be the labyrinth, and then maybe something like yin yang, something like Vesica Pisces, something like infinity symbol. I was just reading about the Vesica Pisces, so this is gonna go. I feel like if I want to learn about sacred geometry, I will at a later date, but as of right now, I'm not interested in Fibonacci numbers. I'm not interested in the sacred spiral. I'm not interested in none of that shit. I'm just not. And I think there's enough material that I can just study the symbol that I really want to study, which is the spiral, on my own. Lastly, we have the Dark Wood Tarot. There's a card from one of the other decks, one of the decks, but like I don't have the deck, it's just one card. So that's another day. This is the Dark Wood Tarot. This is another Pluto deck for me. I just feel like if I had to choose between this one or which one? The brown one? What's the brown one? Spellcasters, yeah. Spellcasters. I would choose Spellcasters. This isn't a bad deck. It's just it's just not necessarily, you know, this is one of those Disney-esque type. I feel like it is, like, is it related to Disney? I don't know, but it's more Disney-esque to me. So this would most likely be a no. I do like the idea of these cards. They're actually pretty nice. So let's put it in the maybe pile when I'm looking at it. Marie Kondo will be so disappointed. Like, you're not supposed to like rummage through stuff, because we're just holding your hands and see if it resonates and shit. But, you know, I don't like partying with things as much. So yeah. So that is everything. So the box of the nose is pretty full. And then there's a box of yeses and maybes that I'm going to put to the side. But that's everything I have right now. Now it's just going to go through the car, get the last bits of those, then go upstairs and go through those. And child, I have to do the video where I almost thought I was going to give away my Marriott Tarot. I don't know about that because I don't like the second edition, and I got the first. I don't like the second edition. So if I had given that away, it would have been a trap. But I'll kind of explain why in a future video, like part 3 or whatever. So thank you for watching part 2. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed some of the decks. Even if you like just want to explore what they are for yourself, don't say I've made you tarot addicted. Ever. But yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one for part 3. Hopefully by the end of this week we have finished all of these parts. And yeah, take care. Bye.